Adventures of Irvingman! We open on someone getting an invitation to an event at a wax museum. Wait a minute, what did that say? You are invited to a private exhibition at Madame Selina's Museum of Wax Art, 919 West Boulevard, Metropolis. Madame Selina will unveil her new sculpture portrait of the person who is next to die. Next to die? I'm pretty sure murder mystery parties weren't a thing yet, so what is this? I guess we'll find out, because here comes Madame Selina. No, that's my mother-in-law. Madame Selina is over there. She moves to the front of the room and has everyone sit down.
Good evening, my friends. This is a sad occasion for one of you and for me.
This is a recording.
My third death figure has been completed. It now becomes my unhappy duty to reveal to you the person who within the next 6 months will die.
Dun, dun, dun.
Curtain.
Oh my gosh, it's... Who is that? Whoever he is, he just jumped into the bay. He'll probably be carried out to sea, so his body will never be found. He was a well-known psychiatrist.
I knew John Hurley well. He was happy, healthy, successful. He had no reason to kill himself.
Neither did Herbert Fairweather or John Martin.
Who?
The 2 others who committed suicide. Clark thinks Madame Selina had something to do with it.
This was her 3rd prediction, and they all died the same way. That raises many questions. Are these self-fulfilling prophecies based on the power of suggestion, or something more sinister? I suppose I should come up with a better word than sinister, since in Latin it means left-handed, and I don't want to offend anybody.
Yes, you predicted all the deaths, you know.
Kent, I'm surprised at you. Do you actually believe that fortune teller has supernatural powers?
No, Chief, of course not, but...
It's an old charlatan's trick.
One of these days I'm going to find a way to stuff a sock in Perry's mouth so someone else can finish a sentence.
They make thousands of predictions, and if one of them happens to come true, superstitious idiots are taken in.
That's right.
But Madame Selina made only 3 predictions.
She might have made 300. We only heard about the ones that came true.
No, Chief. I've investigated this.
So have the police, and they gave her a clean bill of health.
Clark is going to talk to her anyway. Lois will tag along because she's the senior reporter and she can tag along if she wants to. While they're waiting, they look around the museum. Who wouldn't be drawn to a room called the Hall of Death?
I am Herbert Fairweather. I died by my own hand in January of 1949, 4 months after Madame Selina predicted my death.
She's basically made monuments to her hideous predictions. It doesn't take long for them to get creeped out. Good thing it's time to see Madame Selina. After a few pleasantries with Clark and some snippy unpleasantries with Lois, Clark asks, "How do you make your predictions?"
A vision comes to me. I hear a voice. It says, "Create a wax portrait of this one."
Clark says, "The 3 that died were all pretty famous. Did you know them well?" She says, "I didn't know them at all."
And about this voice.
It comes to me as from another world.
Not from a phonograph record, like the voices in your Hall of Death.
Any further questions?
Just one more, if you don't mind. Have you received any death visions lately?
Lois isn't making a good impression.
So nice of you to visit me.
Nice of you to see us.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, denied. Clark knows there's something weird about all this, but he can't sort out what it is.
Listen to this. The three people who apparently committed suicide were almost the same height, around 5'8", and they all weighed close to 150 pounds.
What does that prove?
I'm not sure yet, but I have an idea.
Here you are, kids. Read 'em and weep. I got one, too.
Madame Selina had another vision. They all realized it could be one of them.
Curtain.
Chief, it's you.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Don't worry, Chief.
Who's worried? It's ridiculous, utter nonsense.
Sure enough, it is one of them. Perry is furious, as you saw, and he promises to run Madame Selina out of town.
Hello?
Kent, this is Inspector Henderson. Pick up Miss Lane and get down to headquarters right away. Something's happened.
Several people identified Perry White as a man who walked to the pier, removed a few things, and jumped. Lois is devastated. Clark refuses to believe it. He thinks Madame Selina is working some kind of con.
Do you really think so, Clark?
I'll get it. It's probably for me. Clark Kent speaking. Oh, yes, Inspector. Did you get... Oh, you have. Good. All right, I'll meet you at the pier. Inspector Henderson. He's got some more information. Now, you wait here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. She'll sit there and wait and stew while you go do stuff. As if. Why does he always try to do that to her? She's proven herself multiple times, and she was a reporter when he was still plowing corn or whatever they grow in Smallville. But I know why he assumes he's the superior one just because his reproductive organs are on the outside. It's 1951. Now that the war was over and women weren't needed in the factories anymore, it was time for them to go home and be what God intended them to be, barefoot and pregnant. But Lois isn't going to the pier. Clark can handle that by himself. She has somewhere else to be.
Closing time. Everyone will have to leave, please.
That seemed really easy. As soon as everyone is out of the room, it's time to start snooping. Well, that didn't take long.
Andrew!
Yes, dear.
Help me out.
There's a secret basement in the place hidden by a moving platform. Any good reporter knows there's nothing suspicious about that. Keep looking.
Everybody gone?
Yes, dear.
The private museum's doing very well. We've room for 3 more.
Selina, I wish...
I know what you wish, Andrew. Now close it up and come and make me some coffee.
This guy is more obedient to his wife than I am. The big difference is I defer to my wife in a lot of things by choice because she knows more about a lot of subjects than I do. He's afraid of her. As quick as he's busy with the coffee pot, Lois is down the stairs. There's a switch at the bottom that puts the table back in place so nobody will suspect.
Lois!
Chief!
Thank heaven you come. Get me out of here.
Well, Well, it's locked. Chief, how did you get here? What are you...
That mad woman has the key. Get Kent. Call the police.
She'll do all that stuff. All she has to do is get out of this place undetected.
Someone down there, I say.
Yeah, there's 4 someones. You have them in cages. They're your private museum, whatever that's supposed to mean. We're quickly learning that she's crazy.
There's no one down here.
There is.
You can see for yourself, my dear. There's no place for anyone to hide.
I know there's someone here.
While Selina and Andrew are giving Lois chloroform, considering what it's used for, why is that stuff sold over the counter? But I digress. While they're doing that, Clark and Inspector Henderson are examining the pier where all these guys jumped.
See there? Come here. See along the top of the pilings?
Yeah.
With a rope, a man could easily pull himself up out of the water and hide there.
What are you getting at?
Andrew Dawn. He's about the same build and height as Perry White and those 3 others.
Clark's theory is so crazy, it's probably true.
Madame Selina's husband impersonating them. If she made wax masks...
What are you talking about?
I believe he was in the process of telling you when you interrupted him. Why doesn't anybody want to let Clark finish a sentence?
The Wax Museum, we better check it.
We already have. We went over from top to bottom.
Well, let's go over it again.
It's a waste of time. You're way off the beam on this.
I
Kent.
don't think so, and I'll tell you why as we go. Come on.
I think Lois figured it out too, just before the chloroform.
Thought you had me trapped, huh? Thought you were smarter than I. Well, look at you now. You're a member of my private wax museum, and you'll stay there till you die.
Little known fact, the character of Snidely Whiplash was based on Madame Selina, especially the mustache.
Aren't they beautiful?
Stop it, I said.
My private museum, living wax figures.
They're not made of wax. Wax doesn't need food and a place to poop.
You're a mouse, a scared little mouse. Look at me. I've got everything.
Yeah, especially your own gloomy dungeon. What an accomplishment.
Because I've got courage, money, power. Everyone fears me.
While she's raving, a buzzer sounds upstairs.
We're looking for some people.
People? There are no people here. Only my wife and myself.
And we are definitely not people. Sorry, I can't help you.
Why don't you have a look at their private apartment, Inspector?
Might as well.
Oh, this is ridiculous. But I'd be happy to show you our living quarters. My wife is in there now. Come this way, please.
Go ahead, I'll be right along.
Either of you guys ever hear of a search warrant? Yes, that was even a thing in 1951. And I think we know what Clark is going to do. Oh, I assumed he was going to take an X-ray look around to be sure there was something for Superman to do. Maybe he already did and we just didn't show it. Okay, he must have because he knew all that stuff was there.
This is my private museum. This is where I keep my masterpieces.
She's going to show it to a cop? But it's worse than that. She sees Superman getting ready to open the cells and completely loses it.
Please stop it! You're my fingers! Andrew, stop it! I predicted that I'll die and you will!
Right now, Henderson is asking, what am I supposed to do with this? In the epilogue, Henderson says she did all this for the publicity. She was making a ton of money. I think she was just crazy and came up with this idea out of her deranged imagination. The next step would have been Andrew with a wax mask of Lois's face trying to fit into her dress and walk in heels. Too bad we ran out of time before we got to see that. Until next time. Video by Harry Harrison. Audio by Morris Morrison. Wardrobe and makeup by Alice Allison. Your announcer has been Peter Peterson.